Okay, some breaking news this morning. I slept in and I looked at my Discord messages as soon as I got up, and it was basically spammed by my editor sending me a whole bunch of links and telling me, I don't know where you are, but you're missing the news of the morning. And if I go straight to it here, I'll show you breaking. Microsoft is laying off 1,900 people in its gaming division, including Activision Blizzard. This is just 3 months following closing its $69 billion acquisition, and the story is coming shortly. Now, this is not the only layoff in the gaming division recently. We saw layoffs at Twitch. I know my own sponsor, G Fuel, has had some layoffs. Also, Riot Games has had layoffs, and all of these, as far as I can remember, was just within the last month or two, basically right after the holiday season or during the holiday season. So it's been a pretty brutal time for the gaming and tech industry right now. Now, in an article by Bloomberg, you can see here Phil Spencer wrote that the cuts represented about 8% of Microsoft's 22,000 gaming workers. And you have to remember, Blizzard over there has about 9,000 workers, to give you an idea. The Verge first reported the news, and they also mentioned some of the other layoffs I was talking about. We can scroll down here to a quote. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we're aligned on the best opportunities for growth. And that's straight from Phil Spencer there. Now, one of the interesting things is the layoffs just weren't all the way down at the bottom level, and some people were actually leaving the company here. Blizzard's boss, Mike Ybarra, is also out. So he is actually leaving. And if you go here, you can see that in a note to the staff, Microsoft Studios president Matt Booty said that Ybarra has decided to leave the company. At the Blizz convention in November, Ybarra said in an interview that he wanted to stay at the company for a long haul. So he decided to leave, but he also stated that he really wanted to be there for the long haul in November. In fact, the quote here states, "Someone will drag me out of Blizzard," he said. "That's how long I will be here." Well, and someone might have dragged him out of Blizzard. Now, while 1,900 employees are being laid off, not all of these are directly out of Blizzard. I was not able to find exactly how many Blizzard employees, for instance, got laid off, but they do mention here in the Verge article the entirety of Phil Spencer's statements here, which he said the people directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important part in the success of Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, and the Xbox teams, and should be proud of everything they accomplished. So they are laid off from all of those teams. Mike Ybarra makes sort of a nice closing statement, basically saying he cares about the people that are going out. Feel free to reach out to him. To the Blizzard community, I also want to let you know that today is my last day at Blizzard. Leading Blizzard through an incredible time and being part of the team shaping into the future was an absolute honor. Having spent 20 years in Microsoft with the Activision Blizzard behind us, it's time for me once again to become Blizzard's biggest fan from the outside. Now, it's possible that he voluntarily left, even though he doesn't state it in his own message here, as in the article here, where Phil Spencer kind of breaks it down as well. This really says, in addition, Mike Ybarra and I have been discussing his future and some of his personal passions for some time. As many of you know, Mike Ybarra has been more than 20 years at Microsoft. Now he has seen acquisition through as Blizzard's president. He has decided to leave the company. So in this statement, basically, he's saying that Mike Ybarra is the one that made the decision to leave. Who knows if it's true? Doesn't really matter. Either way, at the end of the day, Mike Ybarra is out. He is, however, not the only senior leaving the company here. We have Blizzard's chief design officer is leaving the company. As one of Blizzard's co-founders, Alan has had a broad impact of all Blizzard games. His influence will be felt for years here to come, sort of some. We just have some corporate speak here. But basically, we're also losing the chief design officer. They are also closing down Blizzard's survival game project. So if you didn't know, Blizzard was, in fact, planning a survival game called Odyssey, and that project is now scrapped. That was a 6-year plus project that is now canceled. Now, with the current conversation going around Diablo 4, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of comments about how, like, oh, this was a long time coming. Like, this is what happens when you make a subpar D4 game and things of that nature. But 2 points here. One is this is when one of many of the gaming companies that are experiencing massive layoffs in 2024. Okay. And two is, well, to be honest with you, the higher up reaches of, these companies, I don't really care as much if they get laid off. The people that are sort of in the trenches, I'm going to put, that are getting laid off here, standard devs, new people into the company, et cetera, I actually feel for quite a bit. So if you are one of those people, Godspeed and good luck to you. I know several people over there at Blizzard because I have spent some time going down and visiting the Blizzard campus, play testing things, etc. And I have said this many times before, but it remains true that every person I've ever met in person was super nice. I know it's, their job to be an influencer's coming. You're going to be super nice, but legitimately, they all seem like great people in my experience. And these are people experiencing an unfortunate thing, losing their job. So regardless about how we feel about Diablo 4 or anything like that, Godspeed to them. I do feel quite bad for the people getting laid off at the moment. And keep in mind, a lot of companies that are making good products, like in my opinion, Discord, Google, Riot Games, these types of companies are also experiencing layoffs in literally the same month. Reddit is responding basically how I thought they would, saying like, I hope the people that did season 1 and season 3 are sort of gone. But I think the real take is something closer to this, which is I can't imagine how this is particularly encouraging for the growth of Diablo 4 going forward. That's sort of how I feel. It's not like this is a new hiring of people going out. The same people were there, but now we are losing some of them. So I can't imagine that is good for growth of the game in a time that is quite arguably some of the hardest feedback that we go back. I know you've seen a couple of my videos. I've been trying very hard to strike a balance, at least in my early impression video, of saying what I truly believe is some of the positives about this season in order to be fair. But the reality is it's not in a good place right now. I'm seeing many of my fellow, I don't know if I'm going to call them coworkers, but content creators or something that are basically done with this season, just literally days into it or about to be done with this season. If you're wondering about me for myself with Diablo 4, I am discouraged. I think most of us probably are. A lot of us either had our peak of our career, if you want to call that, playing games that with Diablo 4, and we're definitely hoping for a growth pattern, and we seem to not be receiving that, at least with that game, to put it mildly. So at the moment, a lot of people are just going to play other games. I think you're going to see something very similar with myself with this. I am not seeing a lot of signs to be very encouraging at the moment. Season 4 will be the season that really, in my opinion, totally makes or breaks the game at this point with the itemization changes. And if they don't know itemization changes, Diablo 4 will not be in a very healthy place. In terms of, are these layoffs going to make the game better? I don't think that's the case unless they announce, okay, well, we laid off X amount of people, but X amount of new people are coming in at higher cost. Which is kind of counteractive to the point of the layoffs. They're trying to save money. I doubt they're going to raise how much they're paying people, bring in some fresh, good veteran blood there. So that's just kind of how I see it on this take. I'm not happy about these layoffs at all. This isn't good news in terms of Diablo 4's game, and this definitely isn't good news for the people getting laid off. It's just a tech company is once again doing layoffs here. It's unfortunate. So for today, for me, I'm going to go live. We're probably going to chat about this for a bit. I'm assuming this is going to be the talking point that everyone's going to want to talk about today on live stream. And then I'm going to play D4 for a little bit longer, try to get to Uber Malphus. And at that point, I don't really see a reason for me to continue to play D4, at least until maybe the next season. At that point, probably re-experience it. I kind of just am going to play some Power World. I think it's a fun game. Maybe check out Enshrouded. Other than that, I'll play other ARPGs, and we have Last Epoch coming in February. But as it stands, and as of today, it's unfortunately just a little bit of a discouraging day for Diablo 4. At least that's my take.